welcome! I'm back sewing again today. Now some weeks ago I made a couple of seersucker summery blousey tops that actually, although it's winter, I've been wearing them through the winter with my long skirts and a nice woolly cardigan. They're working beautifully. So I have my white one here, and I also made a second one using this patterned seersucker fabric. And that one's in the washing machine at the moment, so I can't show you, though you've seen it before. So I want to make a second one using this flowery seersucker, but I'd already decided instead of using the white fabric to make the band around the collar and the arm cuffs, I'd like to use this washed out denim fabric for those two bits of the garment. To make those tops, I've used this sewing pattern that I got from eBay. I can't remember now. Yes, I can. So I can't remember how much it was. It was £7.35. It does have a pattern for two tops, slightly different styles, and two flowy skirts. Then the other day in the supermarket, walking down the clothing aisle, they had all the summery clothes reduced. And this lovely yellow top, I took a photograph of it last night, here, was reduced to the bargain price of £6. Originally it had been £16 and now it was only £6. Now unfortunately it was in a size 12. And I am not a size 12, I am a size 16 in tops. But what I really liked about this yellow top, although it's very similar to the summery tops I've already made, so I liked that, it's very much the same, so why buy one when I can make one, is the yellowy top has a very wide square neckband, and I really liked that and wanted to copy it. So decided for the bargain price of £6 I was going to buy it and take it apart and use it as a sewing pattern. And that's exactly what I've done. So I spent yesterday evening taking it all to pieces. And here's the bit I really wanted, was this lovely square neckband. But I've also got the sleeve panels from this blousey top, and its front and back that are all picked apart. Now this is the back panel, and I'll put it this way you can see better. It's actually got a seam down the centre of the back, but I've decided, unless I'm short on fabric and having to manoeuvre patterns around to get them to fit, I'm quite happy for my back panel to be one sheet of fabric. So I've left this stitched together down the middle, and I'll cut it out for my new pattern as one piece, or maybe cut it from a fold line so that when I open it out I'll get one big piece of fabric. Interestingly, with this top I've got one sleeve I took to pieces and unpicked, and the other sleeve I've left intact because I only need one. They're both the same. But the sleeve on this purchased top has an elasticated edge on its cuff. The fabric's been turned over and hemmed, and then elastic put inside to do the cuff band around the arm. And the tops I'd previously made, although they have a similar look to them, the cuff band is rigid. So I have a fixed size band of fabric for the cuff, and then I've gathered the excess of the sleeve to give these pleaty gathered ripples round the edge, which gives you the nice puffy sleeve that I was looking for. But as I assemble my new top, I'm going to give it the I'm going to make the fixed cuff, because I want to use my blue fabric to do the neckband and the cuff. I think just the neckband might look a bit strange on its own, maybe, don't know, but with the addition of the blue cuff it'll tie everything together and hopefully look quite nice. So if you're doing something similar yourself and the garment you're taking apart already fits you perfectly, you could just lay this fabric out on top of your new piece of fabric, pin it all down and cut it out to give you your pattern pieces. But as I'd like to make this slightly larger than the original top, I decided I would pin all my pieces onto greaseproof paper and make my size adjustments there before I pin that greaseproof paper onto my finished fabric. And that's what I've done. So the sleeves I've left the same because they actually fitted me quite nicely and I didn't need to make any changes. But with the front and the back, where's my front? There it is. Which way up? That way. But with my front and back panels, I've allowed some extra width on the side. I've also moved, there's a bust dart here, and I've moved the dart down to a lower position on my new greaseproof paper pattern. And while I'm making adjustments, I've decided to add some extra length to the hem because I like my tops to hang slightly lower down on the hip. And if I find that it's too long, I can always cut some fabric off, but I can't stick it back on if I've stitched it all together and it's too short and I don't like it. So if I have the fabric available, I'd much rather cut it slightly longer than needed. Hello Pusscat, you're being very vocal. And this is the bit I was after. This beautiful wide square neckband is the main reason I bought the top at all. This actually comes in, there's 4 pieces. There's 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces at the back, and they meet with oh, it's not picking it up. There we go. And there's a seam across the shoulder that joins them together here. As I said, yesterday evening I took it all to pieces. This morning I have already pinned the original yellow top onto some greaseproof paper, made my pattern adjustments and transferred that greaseproof onto my nice new fabric. It's all cut out and I'm ready to start assembling my new top. So here's my pieces all cut out and ready to start assembly. What are you doing, cat? Where's she gone? Now? You're going to help? Are you? Now? So the first bit I'm going to do is this nice square neckband that I like. This shoulder seam is not going to say not straight, but it is straight, but it's at an angle. So when we stitch them together like that, we're going to gain this curve that will be going over the top of the shoulder. Now looking at my original one to see how they've constructed this, I see they've actually stitched the shoulders together first, and once the shoulders are stitched together, they've stitched all the way around this inside edge and turned the pieces inside out. And I've got this laying the wrong way. This is going to be my outside facing for the fabric. So the first thing I'll want to do is put my front and back outside to outside. So these will actually be right side to right side, and I'll stitch along that seam to join them up, and then open it out to give me the square neckband. So here it is with its shoulder seams stitched on both sides, and then opened out and pinned together. And I've pinned the two, the inside and the outside of this neckband, all the way round its inside edge, right side to right side. Neckband all done, having stitched the two squares together. Hello! You turn one inside the other and iron it. neckband all ready to add the rest of the top. Now all I've got to do is stitch the rest of the top together. But this was the new bit for me, making this neckband shape. And I'm really pleased, it worked very nicely. So the next task, having put my neckband together, is to stitch this dart into the front bust area of the top. One on each side, of course. So I'll take this off its paper and sew that dart up now. Then I'll be ready to put my front and back panels together, stitching along the side seams. Right, so this is my front and back panels, and I've stitched them together wrong side to wrong side, which seems a bit unusual with sewing. You'd normally stitch right side to right side and open it out and tidy the seam inside. But I've done my first line of stitching with my fabric wrong side to wrong side, so it looks like the finished garment will look. And now I'm going to turn the whole thing inside out and run another line of stitching along this seam. That way, when I open it out the right way round, I'll have the finished seam on my garment, and on the inside of my piece of clothing, I'm going to have this nice, neat, tidy, finished edge with no rough fraying bits showing. So that's the next stage. Run a line of stitching along the inside. So that's that seam all nice and tidy and stitched inside and out. So the outside, nice neat seam, and inside the garment, no loose fraying edges, just this little flap of sealed in material to make things all neat and tidy. Now to do the same with this sleeve panel. I have a little straight edge here that needs to be stitched together in exactly the same way to make my sleeve into a tube. Yay! Actually going the other way. This rounded piece is going over the shoulders, and this flatter bit at the bottom is going to be the cuff around the arm. Then we can stitch the two together, and then it'll start to look like a top. So here we are with the sleeves attached, ready for the next stage in sewing, and it looks enormous, and it's actually the perfect size. These shoulders are going to get gathered and scrunched to give us a nice puffy sleeve, and the front and back panels will also be gathered into that nice square neckband that I like, which will give us this ruffly, gathery front and back. So the next bit I need to do, I can't hold it on me, is take our finished neckband and attach it to this top, adding all its ruffles and gathers as we go. Oh, I can't hold it all up. There we are, it's going to look lovely. So the next task is to attach the main blousey bit to this neckband, and then it'll be a much better fit. Well, it's a horrible, dark, gloomy day outside, and I'm making summery tops, but I've nearly finished. I just need to turn the hem on this top. Now, as you may have noticed, I've somehow ended up very long, longer than I planned. I thought we might be about there, is what I'm aiming for when I started. I think that would be a good length for a little flowy, summery top. I've done the little square neckline, and that's lovely. I'm really liking it, and I've added some little cuffs in that same washed out denim look fabric, and I'm really pleased. So not much to do to finish this off. I think some elastic under the bust and a hem on the bottom. I'm going to leave it long, then it'll be different from my other two tops. There we go, all finished and hemmed. I decided to move it up shorter so it hems just under my wrist, and I did add one row of shirring elastic just under the bust, which goes all the way around, just to give things a little bit more shape. Put my skinny jeans on and it looks really good. It's going to make a lovely summer top. I'm very pleased. So that's it for today, all done. So bye for now, I will see you next time. And remember, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it. If you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.